I didn't get a chance to have my seat up here. So again, like everything else, gentlemen, these two gentlemen will be giving questions here. The questions have already been prearranged and asked. David Fleetwood went to go take a break, so we'll go ahead and get started. Gentlemen, just please remember you have 2 minutes. Don't forget to watch Mr. Gidner here. He will keep timekeeper, and again, you will be threatened with interpretive dance from the chair if you do not stop within that time frame. So go ahead, and again, we'll go ahead and start off. You want a coin? How would you like to start off here? Who's got a coin? No one's got coins anymore. And
You got a credit card.
you got a credit card. Who's got a coin? You got a coin? So I'll like to heads or tails?
Details. Fine.
You're worth a quarter.
Worth a quarter. Hey, you get to flip it too if you want. Okay, wait, hold on. So, heads or tails?
I'll do tails.
Tails? Oh my goodness. It rolls over. Try that again. That wasn't. Just to let you, it rolled evenly, which is heads. So you get to choose. You get to speak first or speak last. Speak last. Speak last. So, Mr. Ekberg, Councilmember Ekberg, you get to speak first.
Thank you. Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to come here. District 11 folks in my area have supported me and suggested I be here this evening. I want to thank them. I'm Alan Ekberg. I'm running for mayor in the city of Tukwila. Long-term resident, grew up in the area. Basically didn't leave the area of the city of Tukwila except for military duty and some college, and I met my bride and brought her back up into Tukwila. Been living there since '87. I've been on the city council since 1990. I did 2 terms, 90 to 97. Led an effort to re-socialize our economic development and zoning codes. And as a result of my children growing up, I wanted to spend more time with them, so I left the city council voluntarily. And after 10 years, I came back 6 years ago. So now, 6 years into 15 years on the city council, I've contributed 25 years of my life into the city of Tukwila. I've been on PTSAs, I've been on zoning code committees, I've done things on International Boulevard. I've worked for the citizens and the community all those years. I was on planning commission when I wasn't on the city council, volunteering. In the Highline School District, I was on the band leadership meetings. Now I'm in the Foster School District, and I'm on the bond council meetings, helping to contribute to the city as much as possible, to the citizens in Tukwila as much as possible. I really love them. I really do. I grew up there. I lived there. I love being there. I love the people I interact with. There's lots of change that has occurred over the past decade. And what we need to do is modify some of that change and put some more energy into the residents of our city. People who live there and lay their heads down at night. We have 150,000 people in the daytime, but they don't support everything that goes on in the city like our residents do, who lay their heads down at night. What we've seen is zoning code violations running rampant, police issues running rampant. It's time to take some of the money from the economic development engine of our city, put it into the population base that reside there at night. Why don't we improve our city by bringing in to the residents an opportunity for them to let Tukwila shine. And Alan Ekberg, running for mayor in Tukwila.
Thank you very much. And next up, Councilmember Deshaun Quinn.
All right. So I brought my notes because I know it's 2 minutes. My name is Deshaun Quinn. I first want to start by thanking the 11th District for their support over the years, for the races that I've been involved in, and campaigns I've run for over a decade. Tonight, I'm asking for your support and endorsement in my candidacy to be the next mayor of the city of Tukwila. I believe in a forward-leaning Tukwila. I want to preserve and grow what makes Tukwila great while using its resources to benefit our residents. I pledge to unify all the diverse voices in Tukwila. I'm committed to collaborating with the City Council and the school district something that the current administration hasn't done to benefit our residents. I've had the pleasure of serving my community as a council member for the past 7 years with a focus on improving quality of life in my community, protecting the environment. Many things that I've done on the city council in a leadership capacity. One, as budget chair. I was a good steward of the public's money. I've made fiscally responsible decisions that allowed us to weather the economic downturn. I've been a champion of trying to reduce disparities in health, income, transportation, and education my whole career, pushing for sidewalks and transit-oriented development. I've had the pleasure of serving King County Executive Ron Sims and Dow Constantine in several capacities. I've had the opportunity to observe and implement their leadership styles, how you treat people, how you write policy, and how you serve your community with purpose. Why I'm running is because I love my community. My wife and I chose this community to raise our family. And what I've learned about serving on the council is it doesn't matter what you say, all that matters is what you get accomplished. And I've had a history of getting things accomplished. And running for mayor, I'd love to have your support. I've appreciated your support over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to move over here because what's happening is you can't really tell for those of you over in internet land. We have some feedback going on. So I don't hear any of that over there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start question and answer period. So since Councilmember Ekberg started, then Councilmember Quinn will start off with questions.
Sure.
So, given what Seattle's been doing to raise living standard in the city, would you support a $15 minimum wage in Tukwila?
Absolutely. You want me to tell you why?
Yeah.
Because we actually have some of the lowest incomes in King County. And historically, as my opponent talked about, Tukwila actually was a working class community. And it still is. It's just a lot of those jobs are in the service industry. I believe we need to address the issues of the disparities in income, and passing a $15 minimum wage as one way to do it.
Thank you. With regard to the $15 minimum wage, it's a noble cause and one that needs to be implemented, but the problem is it takes too long to implement. What we need to do is look at doing something quicker, faster, and better than a 7-year time frame implementation. So as a city council member and as a future mayor of the city of Tukwila, we should be able to look at this, think about the process that's been established elsewhere, and what can be done to improve upon that process, and then let the citizens of Tukwila be aware of it and see what they have to say as far as voting it and supporting it and backing us and making some sort of decision around $15 minimum wage. As I mentioned in my opening comments and speech, we are an economically deprived neighborhood. We have folks that are underprivileged. We have folks that are migrants and immigrants and folks that are refugees that come into our city. We need to better them, and this is one way we can.
I have a follow-up to that.
Yep.
Granted, Seattle shows a 7-year time frame. Tukwila would not have to make the same choice. I heard you say it's a noble cause. What explicit policies would you try to enact as mayor in the near term to get living wages up in Tukwila?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Let me clarify. I said it was a noble cause and one that we didn't have to follow. So in order not to follow it, we need to determine for our own benefit what is best. Does the elects make a decision that impacts a huge business and economic area in the city? I don't think so unless there's a popular vote of the citizens letting us know what they want and the businesses coming into play. I think that we would ruin some of the smaller businesses in our city if we implemented a $15 minimum wage immediately. So therefore we need to figure out what would work best.
Okay.
Council member, you have a point this
Oh,
way.
sorry.
Because of the feedback, so.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I believe if we had a vote of the people, they'd vote in favor of a $15 minimum wage. I think that's the difference between myself and my opponent. I think I know the community that I serve. I think I know their needs, and I will work to implement it. As mayor, I would propose legislation for a $15 minimum wage. And also I would encourage economic development, right? What one of the previous candidates talked about, that is bringing jobs to our community. Now, no disrespect to the city of Seattle, but we know it's not affordable. We know a lot of businesses are looking at Tukwila as a place to have their business home. And I will support that, I will encourage that, and I would have a focus on local hiring.
Thank you.
We'll start on the other side. What would be your largest explicit policy push for your first year? What would you like to get done in your first year as mayor if you were elected? And I'd like to be as specific as you can as what you're trying to do and how you would attempt to accomplish it.
Councilmember Ekberg.
So my first explicit thing I would do as mayor is get over the disappointment that I heard from city staff saying that they hired one additional code enforcement officer this year, when in fact, all they did was put in place an existing officer that was already on duty. What we need for the immigrant population, for the residences, for the zoning that's been a problem, is to increase specifically, immediately, the number of people involved in the code enforcement services of our city. We have 3. We need more than that. I'd be willing to double it, if not even go higher. There are so many complaints about cars parked on city streets when they shouldn't be parked there. There's so many complaints about yards looking like trash, that the Tukwila residents are being impacted by folks coming in, buying homes, making those homes into marijuana grow operations at the price of the citizens around them. We need code enforcement to back that up. We need law enforcement to back that up as well. We just implemented an injunction so that now we can move forward and try to close down some of those operations. So immediately, I would improve code enforcement and out the door.
Councilmember Quinn.
I think initially I definitely would focus on code enforcement. That's something that the community is asking for, and I would support it. But that wouldn't be my primary first decision. I want to address our homelessness issue. If you look at our school district, it's a student body of 3,000, and we have 300 homeless in our community. So one of the first projects that I would want to promote is affordable housing around transit-oriented development. Like, how could we not address the concerns of the everyday residents in our community? And in particular, if we know for a fact that there are 300 homeless kids in our district, that's something that we need to address. That's something that should be the mayor's priority, because we cannot afford to have our most vulnerable without a place to lay their head.
I have a slight follow-up to that. What explicit policies would you put in place to try and address that problem?
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
So
What explicit policies would you put forward to address that problem?
well, first, I would actually use the student families' ability to earn. So basically, use their family household income and not kind of use the 80th percentile, because I think we're much lower than that as a measuring stick. And then I would work with developers and build incentives in an affordable housing development, and I would balance that with the retail development as well. We have property. One of the things that I'm most proud of is we now own our crime-rated hotels on Tukwila International Boulevard. We own that. We can help subsidize the opportunity for affordable housing to address that homelessness. So it would be those policies that I would search. I'd use my energy to get a developer that can meet the income.
Go ahead, next question.
All right, with one final question, quickly, it's from the body here. Do you feel the city council should continue to manage and run the Tukwila swimming pool? What is your reasoning?
Start with Councilmember Quinn.
All right. So we answered that question at our last board meeting. We're going to start talking about governance. But let me just say this. When we took over the pool as an APD board, it was an effort to save the pool. And one commitment that I have made to the community is to keep it a community pool. So I'd like actually to have an opportunity for the residents to have a say whether they want the city council to still be in charge, or they want another elected board. I think that keeps with my commitment to the residents that we keep this a community pool.
Councilmember Ekberg.
The Tukwila Metropolitan Park District, which owns the Tukwila Pool, has been in existence for 3+ years. Major renovations have been done to it. Specifically with regards to the governance of the pool, I think the governance, it's time to change. I think there's an opportunity to follow models that have been in existence in other areas where you have a few of the council members residing on the pool board. You open it up to citizens who have an opportunity to also be elected to sit on the pool board. And that way, what we do is we enable our citizens to contribute further. One of the strategic plans in the city of Tukwila is to enable our citizens. Right now, as a governing body, the city council is not enabling their citizens to step up and play an active role in their city by being a board member on the pool. So I would change that. I'd like to see a combination of sorts between potential council members being elected and independent board members being elected, so we can have a balance in the city, and that's what we need to do.
Are there any other questions? Okay, with no other questions, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hearing both of our candidates. So it's about 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and cut out. So we're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute break here because we have to go reset up for our business meeting. Again, thank you. I'd like to thank all of our candidates for here who are addressed here tonight. Again, don't forget to go ahead and study these questions over on our website. At 11thLDDems.org. Thank you for both of our candidates. Thank you for all of our candidates, and we'll see you.